Okay, so just basically I sent an email out last Tuesday. I thought we were going to do this last Tuesday. I'll go ahead and print some after, and I'll stick them in your boxes. It's just a quick guide to Renaissance Place. It's mainly the things that teacher call and ask most often. So I'm just going to kind of walk you guys through things. The one that we use the most is probably independent reading. Your guys' dashboard should look just like this when you guys log on. It should look exactly like this. Everybody can log in, right? You guys, there's no issues with that? Okay, I hope not. Okay, so on independent reading, it'll give us 5 options. Record book and goals is usually the one that you guys will go to most often, or reports, and that kind of just gives you a breakdown of everything that's kind of going on with your students. Reviewing reading practice quizzes is the top one, so we're going to start with reports here, and we're going to go to student record. What did I do there? Independent reading reports. Reading practice. Okay, so let me go back real fast here. We're going to go to independent reading. We're going to go to reports, reading practice, and of course, Marcia has like a really big emphasis on the word count. So word count's just down here at the bottom, and you can check that every day. For you guys, this will look a little bit different. Your class is the only class I think that will come up, but we can just go ahead and use Ms. Johnson's class for an example. Everything is basically self-explanatory. If you just read the options, you're able to just kind of to choose what's important to you. You can obviously select the date, change the date. You can do last 30 days, previous 7 days, this week, last week, this month, today, just specifically today, yesterday. You can get an idea of what your kids are doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis. You can change to highest to lowest if you want to see the top reader in your class without having to go through every single student, or lowest to highest, which is more important to me. I would always look lowest to highest because those are the students that obviously are not producing a word count. That's just a very, very quick way to see word count. Like, I didn't even hit it. Let me see. So when you're ready and you've selected everything that you think is appropriate, you just hit view report and it'll create the report. And of course you can print it, and there it is right there. Another common question is how to delete a quiz. I don't think you guys actually have access to delete a quiz, so you can just call me with that, but it is in there just in case. I'll send you guys or I'll print the notes out for you guys. Changing quiz levels. So when the kids come in and they're like, Miss Sanchez, I can't test on this Clifford book that I read, but my teacher said it's okay and I can test on it. You guys should be able to do that really quick without having to come to me to do it. And it's super, super easy also. Again, we'll start at home and independent reading. And then you're gonna go to preferences right here. And then the third block down here where it says individual student preferences, you're gonna select what in the world?
Book levels, I think.
I'm thinking, why is it not the same on my notes? Okay, so we'll do Miss Olsenbull's class right here, and you're just able to move the cursor right here to any level, just like that, and it's done. And you have to click save changes if, like, none of these are set. So if you want to go through, you can set your students if you don't think that they should be reading at a 1.2 and they try all the time, then you can come in here and block them from that, and then you just hit save changes just like that. Let's see. Another very, very often asked question is, for the kids, they always want to check their points, but I think like third and below, they can't see their points. All they see is the little flower, and the flower fills up.
It says the points on the bottom.
It does see, it does, oh, okay. That's another thing that kids always want to know. But when they come in to spend points, it doesn't subtract. Like if they've earned 20 points and they've spent 20 points in the library, they always get confused because they're like, well, how come it says I have 20 points, so like, why are you saying I only have 4? It's because they've spent them in the library and it doesn't show that it's subtracted. So if they can remember or they want to keep track on their own, then that's fine. But again, we go to independent reading, and then we're going to go to, let me get back to independent reading. You're going to go to reports, reading practice. Again, mostly you'll be in reading practice a whole lot, and student points right here. Again, only your class should come up, and you'll hit view report. So here it is right here. This is where it says points earned right here, and then points used is what I've subtracted, and then points available is what they actually have left. So if you need an accurate count of what their points are before you guys come in or whatever, then it's points available. That's what they have to spend actually, but what they've earned is right over here. Let's see. Most importantly, I guess, is the diagnostic report. So here's independent reading again, and we're going to go to reports again, and then we're going to also click on to reading practice again, and the diagnostic right here, we'll click on that, and we're going to use Ms. Johnson's class again, just for example. It gives you the option to change, like I said, whatever you want, but this right here is super important. It shows you how many quizzes they've passed, how many that they've taken, and right here obviously it says SPUs, the Spanish quizzes taken. And when you're looking through the options, you can also click on just Spanish or just English or all together, and you can actually separate their percentages by English and Spanish also. It'll tell you what everybody's goal, I think, is set at 85. Their average right now, let's see, and of course the reading level right here. So like this student right here, Daniel, let's go back and we'll just select one student. That's just kind of like an overlook of the class. But when you go to one student, it kind of gives you a little bit more information. Right over here is just the summary. That's like, this is the thing I just kind of look to all the time too. Obviously, total quizzes, passed, taken 14. Of their percentage is 87, so they're doing pretty good. And then you can just, if you look over here, like at the book level, the ATOS book level right here, this student's pretty consistent, staying in 4.7. If they're kind of like all over the place, like if they're reading like a 1.3 and then a 4.7 and a 3.4 or something, maybe that's something, to keep an eye on to just make sure that they're staying in their level. Or if they're at a 4.7 and they've taken 10 quizzes at a 4.7 and their average is 85 maybe, or above 85, then maybe it's time to say, hey, let's move up a level or two, or let's try something a little bit more challenging. So this kind of just is, it's an awesome little report. It just kind of shows you everything kind of at a glance and makes it really, really easy. Another question too, also, that always gets asked is when a student is taking a quiz and they're in the middle of it and they're like, or they start it and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a Spanish book, I don't even read Spanish, I need to delete the quiz. Also in the email that I sent with you guys, or to you guys, it says the password that you guys are supposed to use is all capitals. It's ADMIN888. So that's something that's kind of maybe just whatever, have that available somewhere for you, but not for the kids to see, because I think it was changed last year because the kids were just deleting all of their own quizzes because they knew the password. But that's also another just something that everybody calls about. Let me think here. What else is kind of important? Is there anything that you guys? Yes, go ahead.
So using the, how would you recommend using the ATOS average number to determine
their level? That's kind of hard at the beginning of the year because they haven't taken any quizzes, and that's when you need it the most because you're trying to figure out their level. You used to be able to take a STAR quiz, which is no longer available to you guys as far as I know. So it's kind of just hit and miss, or hopefully the teacher from the previous year has written it on their, I don't know if you guys use like the pink cards or the blue cards or whatever now. So you just kind of have to go off that and then just hope that, that's like you have to keep an eye on that average and how many quizzes are taken in that average, like constantly, because then that's pretty much the only way you can do it is just have them take quizzes. Yes.
So I've gone in and set preferences.
Right.
And then I'll go back in again and it erases all the preferences. It seems like the minute you go in, it changes all the preferences again. It's not set.
Are you making sure you hit save changes?
I thought I was, but maybe I'm not.
Okay, so because that's what I'll think sometimes I do it too, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't even hit save. I didn't hit save changes, but make sure you hit save changes, otherwise it'll reset everything every time.
Okay.
Yes.
I've had a fourth grade classroom student come in and looked at his word count under progress. My classroom's not able to do that. How do I, are there preferences where I can do it so they can see their word count under preference, under the report?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me look into that, because maybe I'm able to change that for each class, individual class. I don't know, but I will look and see, and if I can, then I'll definitely let you know, so then it's available. So because it's awesome when they can do it on their own. When everything that they can do on their own is way better. Like let them look, let them figure it out. But let me see, because I'm not sure. I don't know.
Because again, I did see a student pull it up on one of my computers. He came in, one of my last year students, and he was able to see his word count. And I was wondering if maybe his teacher
made it
messed with the
available,
preferences or made it available. I want to be able to do the same.
Right. Okay. Let me find out. Is there anything else that anybody else is having trouble with, or just yes?
Just a question. It's about AR, but I know Mrs. Cole asked for a benchmark for kindergarten words. We've never done that. So, what would be first grade? What's first grade Red's t-shirt words? How many?
12,000.
12,000 and 16,000.
12,000. So what would be a good number? Just
An appropriate number. I don't know. See, that's up to you, because then it's fairly new. There are not every kinder class is testing, and you guys haven't really done it. So it's just kind of up to you guys what you think is fair, what the kids are actually capable of doing. You don't want to set like a goal that's way out of reach, but
I think the biggest problem, well, not problem, but I think hurdle would be DI kiddos are learning how to read. The EOs are learning how to read and their comprehension.
Right.
So those two things really don't come together until maybe the last. I'm thinking first grade. So we've never had a number for kinder for them to get an AR, and I think it would only be reachable for kiddos who already are Spanish speakers.
Gotcha.
So I don't know, and I know EO wants to do it, which I think is pushing for it. But it might not be available for all the kiddos, so that's where I'm torn. I don't know if we should even make an expectation if some kiddos might not be able to reach it. I know.
That's something you guys will have to decide on. I will just do whatever you guys say. I don't see anything wrong with. I don't know. Like, set an expectation. Why not?
Okay.
Maybe
but
1,000 and
1,000.
And then maybe 3,000 for the top level, or, I mean,
Yeah, Miss Hansen has a few kids that are testing, but they're English only, of course, but they're doing maybe 50 words a day. So, and that's only 2 or 3 of them out of the whole entire class, and that's and it's a lot of work. They don't know how to log in. She's got 5th graders coming in to help her and stuff like that. It's a lot of extra, and especially if we make it something that's expected of you guys, then it's going to be expected of you guys. I don't think Mercy is going to be this year yes, next year no.
Yeah, and it's something we'd have to tell parents.
Right.
That's a little bit of everybody, and then okay.
And then partner with 5th graders,
Yeah.
which
I
we
wouldn't
could
mind.
totally arrange to have them come and help.
Yeah, I think that
You
works the
guys-
best
Okay.
Especially our DI kids can come help.
with the DI.
Classes, and the Jones and Matthews can help.
Mr. Castro, please
So
call the office.
1,000
Mr.
words
Castro,
might
please call
be
the office.
attainable? So no,
Yeah.
1,000.
That's
See what
Even,
happens.
Yeah.
even just logging them in for us took a while.
Yeah.
To figure out how to actually,
Because we've never, I
I
think I did
did
it
it.
with my top readers,
Yeah.
which is usually just 1 or 2 kiddos a year.
yeah, I had 2 say that.
But it's always it's always good though too, even just the process of logging in. I mean, they're learning it, whether they test or not. If they're getting that extra, whatever the last trimester or whatever you guys are doing, that they're learning it still. They're programming themselves to even just learn how to log in, and that makes everything way easier in 1st grade. Then they're already prepared to just log into the computer, whether they can test or not.
And the other question is, how much are we helping them? I know some of the questions are more difficult than the actual book.
A lot.
Yeah.
You're helping them a lot.
So
Yeah,
we're
you're.
giving the question to them.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's just more the process. It's just.
Okay.
I copied your idea.
That's.
Yeah, because,
Oh.
and there's not, okay, because there's not